Hi everybody. Last night I saw the documentary Bully, and I enjoyed it. It was powerful, as I was expecting. I'm honestly kind of surprised that I saw this in the theater, or maybe at all, but I felt that it was getting enough attention in the media that I needed to at least check it out. I also work with children, at the age that is featured in the film, and I thought that maybe I would learn something. The hardest day of my job that day was one of my students telling me that he was being bullied, and he had no idea what to do about it. I had no idea what to do about it. Primarily, I just couldn't get over that he was talking to me about it and not his parents. But I felt a tremendous sense of responsibility, and I felt tremendously helpless. I had no idea what to tell him. I mean, I told him all the cliched things, but it, it didn't feel right. I just thought that it couldn't end in any positive manner. And really, the film Bully takes an hour and a half to really offer no clear answers. I mean, it just presents bullying as what it is, an incredibly complex problem. Over the course of the film, I pretty much got the impression that bullying is like war's younger brother. It's just something that is hideously ugly, but yet a part of human nature, a part of the world. And try as we might, we just can't seem to get over this proclivity to violence and destruction. So, again, the film was very powerful. I'm gonna go ahead and give it an 8. I kind of want to give it a 7 for things that I will discuss, but the negatives that, I will discuss, I mean, it's all overshadowed by the passion that went into making this, and again, what a seemingly impossible problem it is to solve, but yet, they do their best, and again, it's just the passion and the importance of the subject. And again, you witness things in this that, you can't help but describe as powerful. And I felt, I have to honor that. I can't give it a lower rating because there's just too much heart. This film has too much heart. What I didn't like about it, and I mean, I gotta talk about that. I thought it was, at times, needlessly artistic. I know that sounds odd, but I thought that the subject matter was straightforward enough, simple enough, that there didn't need to be much flashiness, and there is here. I mean, there's tricks with the focus, and there's a lot of what I would call problems with the focus. I don't know, the scenes blur and then get sharp, and this might be a first-time filmmaker. I was not familiar with his name. I think it was Lee Garish, something like that. He pretty much did everything. He was wrote it. One of the producers directed it. Anyway, I'm not sure if Mr. Lee has done any other films. I didn't know his name. So I mean, maybe it's just like learning the form somewhat, and actually dealing with cameras, professional cameras, for the first time. I mean, I kind of can't wait for the DVD in a way, because I would like to see a documentary on how this was made. I would like to see, you know, because the kids, you know, whenever a kid sees a camera, they, you know, gravitate to the camera. They look at the camera. They want to know what's going on. They put on a show. Here, whenever the kids see the camera, you know, they sometimes don't even regard it. So I was wondering if the camera was smaller than usual, or if it was like old and, you know, the kids wouldn't pay much attention to it, or how long was it around for all of these, because they take the camera into school, and how the kids don't flip out when they see the camera. I mean, it tells me that the camera was there for a long time, so they just had to get used to it, or maybe that, you know, the camera was held by a student. I don't know. I kind of want to know. But back to my point. I thought at some points it was, you know, it didn't need to be so artsy. It didn't need to be so artsy. Sometimes I felt that it even took me out of the scene, because, you know, we're watching. One scene that sticks out for me is you have two parents, you know, a set of parents, at the grave of their child. And, you know, we don't really need anything more than that image. You know, you have two parents standing over the grave of their son and weeping. I mean, you don't need to do much more. You know, just having a stationary camera on a tripod somewhere observing this is enough, if not too much. But, like, again, with the focus, they were doing, like, things to show, well, it looked like to me that, like, they are alone, and, you know, life is out of focus, and, yeah, I just didn't get why they were, you know, not letting us absorb this moment, and instead just kind of doing these camera tricks and lighting effects. I didn't think it was too necessary. I also thought that it was a little one-sided. I think documentaries should be free of editorialization. I mean, I realize that, you know, some people just make films as a statement. You know, I realize I almost don't want to call Michael Moore's films documentaries, because they're so one-sided. They're such an expression of his beliefs that, you know, they're basically an editorial film about a subject. Here, I would like a documentary to be free of the filmmaker's opinion. I would like it to be neutral and to deliver the message in a neutral fashion to the audience and let the audience decide. I think the primary example of this is Capturing the Freedmans, which is a documentary about child molestation. And did the Freedmans molest these kids or not? And it's told straightforward and, you know, 50-50 down the middle, left to the audience's decision. Here it's like they kind of blame the school system a bit, and they're rude to the school system. They never let the school system ever make like a real salient point. Not that they could. I'm not saying that they could, but I don't know. They cut them off. Like the superintendent is talking or whatever, and then, you know, the camera will just cut off, and they don't even get to fully express themselves. I thought that was unfair. you know, again, this is a straightforward, but it seems that they are, you know, kind of blaming the school system in a way when there's lots of blame to go around. Another aspect I didn't really care for, and I think it ties in with the first aspect of being too artistic, is at times I thought it felt exploitive. You get to see people in their most intimate of moments, tragic, raw moments, and I don't know, at times I felt that, should the camera be there? Should they, you know, why didn't they tell the camera to go? You know, at times it was like that. Hold on just one second. Hello? Good. Okay. Okay. On my way. Bye. At times it just felt, you know, exploitive. But again, that's the subject's, you know, problem. They wanted the cameras there. They didn't ask for the cameras to be gone. So that's it. But I'll be straight out. At times I felt uncomfortable watching some of the moments that happened in this film. I mean, that's pretty much what I didn't really enjoy. But again, they are just trying to passionately get this point across and get the big problem out there in the collective unconscious, I suppose. The other thing about the film is the fact that it's rated R by the MPAA. It's causing a big hoopla about it. I can tell you right now, I have no idea why this film is rated R. It's ridiculous that this film is rated R. I think it's ridiculous that the film would be rated PG-13 if it were rated PG-13. I have absolutely no idea why it was rated R, and I'm sure that it was for language, but again, what language? I mean, that's what's so ridiculous about it. When the bad language is being used by kids at school, I mean, isn't it aware? I mean, can't you see that the language therefore shouldn't matter too much if they need to watch the film? And I didn't think the language was too bad. In fact, a lot of the kids are too, you know, whatever that is, too nervous to curse. You know, they spell out the curse words or call it the B word or call it the S word. And only a few students curse. And the fact that this film is rated R is an enormous oversight. I think the MPAA put the nail in their own coffin with this. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's outlandish that this film would be rated R. I really don't know what else to say. I mean, it was a powerful film. It affected me. I can say that I learned something, I think. But normally it was just like this feeling of helplessness. Like, what are we to do? What can we do? And it made me feel like that day when my student, you know, cried and told me that school for him is hell and that he's picked on every day. And, you know, what am I to do? You know, what am I to do? So it's an enormous problem that does not have a clear and easy answer. And I think the film does a decent job of expressing that. I got to run, so that was Bully. I'm going to give it an 8 for power, but half of me feels like I should give it a 7, just because I don't know. I thought at times it was maybe a little too insensitive and opinionated. All right, thanks. Bye.